Hi, just going to give you a video to explain the pre-earnings move ShowMe for TradeStation that works for RadarScreen, chart analysis, and the scanner. And basically this indicator lets you see what's happened for a stock for the user configurable days prior to earnings announcement. And so basically maybe you might be able to make use of that information to do some type of trading or investing. It's up to you. And our email is right here as well as the website, so if you have any suggestions, questions, comments, whatever, please send us an email here, and you can also go to the website to look for other indicators we have for TradeStation. So let's see, the legal information. I would encourage you to pause the video and read completely through this. Basically we're saying everything we do, and this indicator is one of those things, so everything is for educational purposes only. We're not giving any type of recommendation to buy or sell anything. We're not giving any type of financial advice, and nothing that we say or present should be taken as that. You're completely responsible for all your trading and investing decisions, and you should seek out the advice and information and wisdom of the appropriate professionals before you make any type of trading or investing decisions. So let's get going here with the presentation. And you can see I've just got a radar screen with a bunch of stocks and then a chart analysis window, and notice there on the daily time frame, that's what the indicator has been designed to work with. So let's go ahead and we'll insert this into the radar screen. It's pre-earnings move. We want to add that, and let's just look at the format. First of all, the default is 1300, so that's 1300 trading days, which is be a little over 5 years. If you want to use more data than that, you can change this number right here, and that's what will control that for RadarScreen. The inputs, basically this is saying the max number of reports that we want to look at for each quarter. And so the RadarScreen, I'll show you obviously in a little bit when we click on OK, but basically there's columns that pertain to the most recent quarters, and then there's columns that pertain to the reports that come out in each of the 4 quarters of the year. And these inputs are for the quarterly input, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So this is saying we're going to look at 5 reports, and we need at least 1 report before we're going to show any information. And this is basically saying this is the number of days we want to look at prior to the earnings announcement. So that the examination period is going to start 10 days prior and end or stop 1 day prior. Move threshold says, okay, consider we have 5 earnings reports that we're looking for in the first that came out in the first quarter. So this is saying that of those 5, 75% have to be in the direction of this indicator here. And since we're saying show up moves true, which basically means we're looking for stocks that move up. So of those 5 periods, at least 75%, or if we have 5, obviously, then 4 out of 5 have to have moved. The stock has to have moved up 4 out of the 5 times prior to earnings in order for it to pass this threshold. And the other thing, this threshold says, okay, of those 4 times that it moved up, the average move of those 4 moves has to have been at least 5%. And if these criteria are met, then it'll be highlighted for us in the columns in RadarScreen. And again, I kind of always am usually looking for up moves, but you can set this to false, and this will basically look for times when a stock moves down. These 2 inputs here pertain to the most recent earnings reports, the MRE. That's basically saying right now the last 10. So basically about 2.5 years worth of earnings reports. So we want to look at the most recent 10 reports, and then this is saying we need at least 3 of those before we're going to consider before we'll populate the data for these columns. So let's go ahead and say OK, and it starts populating here. And let's see, basically I usually these MET columns, this is basically something that's used in the scanner, so I always just come in here and hide those, since they really don't do anything for me in RadarScreen. Of course, you can leave them in as you want. I'm just taking them out to get a little screen real estate back, so we can kind of get everything up. So let's see. Okay, we got. Let's see if we can move a few of these over. get that Q4. Okay, get Q4 on there. Okay, so let's see. So we've got Alcoa, and okay, let's start looking at these columns. These first three are the most recent. These are the most, the most recent consecutive earnings reports periods. So this is saying, remember our inputs. We were looking at from 10 days prior to 1 day. So basically about the 10 days prior to an earnings report being released, what happened. And this is saying 8 out of 10 times Alcoa went up in those 10 days preceding an earnings release. And so you can see we met the 75% threshold, so this is shown in a yellow font and a green background. Oh, one other thing, the columns, these will be shown in a kind of a lighter gray color if they if it's basically the current quarter, so just to kind of alert you to the fact that this is the one to be focused on for now. So obviously the most recent one is always in focus, but right now this is being done in April of 2015, so the second quarter reports are also in focus. So again, 8 out of 10 went up, so 80%, or 8 out of 10. Of those 8 times it went up, we had an average move of 2.96%. And of those 8 times, the smallest up move was 0.54%. So, and then also you can come down here and you can see, okay, this one is in yellow font with green background. That's because the average move threshold met that 5% criteria that we put in. And basically, those criteria just kind of help you highlight maybe whatever you consider significant. The default is 75% and 5%. So if you want to raise or lower those values, you're perfectly able to do so. Just change the inputs and everything will get recalculated to match the criteria that you want. Let's see. Let's go over here and let's put this in the chart analysis window. So it's pre-earnings move. We'll say OK. And again, basically for the chart analysis, really only these two inputs here apply, because this is just going to show graphically the days that we considered when coming up with all these averages and minimums and whatnot over here. And so basically chart analysis is going to show you the beginning and the ending date that were used, and then the percentage change over those days, just so you can kind of see on the chart. Sometimes it's interesting to see on the chart, what happened. So let's say OK. Let me just make this a little bigger so we can see it. So you can see. So here, the little plus sign is the day earnings were released, and so you can see the 1 day prior is where we ended, and 10 days prior is where we began our measurement. So there's a B to show us the beginning day and an E for the ending day. So between this day here and here, we had an overall gain of 2.72%, and it was in positive gain, so it's shown in green. And again, this is a second quarter report, first quarter, fourth quarter, third quarter, second quarter, first quarter. You can just kind of see graphically when these different periods were measured. So that's that. And let me pause this. I was going to switch over and show you a scanner screen, and let me pause this just to get that set up. Okay, I'm back. I got the scanner opened up. Basically, I was just going to show you what I set up, and I think some of these settings are in the PDF that comes with the indicator. So just looking at all stocks, looking at stocks that have at least 1 million shares a day traded and closed over price over $20. You can put whatever criteria here that you would like. And I've got 4 instances of the pre-earnings move indicator. The first one is the key one because that's the one that the condition is being used to filter the stocks. So we're looking at the MR met. That's the most recent met value, and we want that to be true. And that'll be true if all these values are met. Basically, we've got these are just the defaults. So for the most recent, we're looking for up to 10 reports, and we have to have at least 3 before we'll consider it. And of those 10, at least it'll only meet the criteria if 75% or have a positive move, and that's basically the criteria that's going to be used to filter these stocks out. So we have that, and I'm just displaying the statistics. So just chose the display value here. But it's important that all 4 of these instances of the indicator have to have the same settings. So just to show you that they do. So, and then if you want, you would hit run to run the scanner, and I've already run it and have the results back here. It just takes a couple minutes to run, so I just wanted to go ahead and pre-do that so we would have that up here. So here's what the results show, and let's see. You can sort this in any way. I'll just put it back to, it was just sorted by symbol name. That's how the results come out. And so you can see every one of these stocks had at least 75% of the time there was an up move in the 10 days preceding the earnings release. And what I did, it kind of depends on how you want to look at this. You could sort this, say, okay, I want to do it, I think, by the percentage, but this is a field, so it's just going to kind of do it lexigraphically, which is by the value of the characters, so that doesn't maybe help a whole lot. But what I do over here, maybe you want the one that had the highest average. So this is saying 3 out of 4 times this stock went up on average 20%, but it only had a minimum move of 1%. So there's a somewhat of a pretty wide range there maybe. Or you could come over here and say, well, show me the ones that had the best average. So we've got VIPS, which went up 9 out of 10 times prior to its earnings release. The average was 10%, and the minimum was 6%. So it's 9 out of 10 times there was a significant, or at least in my opinion, a significant move prior to earnings. So maybe that's something you could could take advantage of if you want to. So again, this is just a quick video to kind of show you the different aspects of the pre-earnings move. ShowMe for TradeStation. If you got any questions, please go back to the start of this video. Our email was listed there, and you can send me an email. Questions, comments, suggestions, whatever. That would be great. And again, thank you for watching.